Hello, everyone. I'm finally back after, gosh, how long has it been? A month? My tablet's back. The phone worked okay for a few videos, and then the phone decided that that's too strenuous on me. The phone. And it took like 2 days to upload a video. I said, oh, screw that. Uh, anyway, so I waited for my tablet to get back. They fixed it all. It was very interesting. It seemed like this tablet had some problems right from the beginning that weren't really noticeable per se. And one of them was it would actually only reload, uh, charge on with the original charger, and any other charger didn't work. And that's something that they brought up. Yeah, it wouldn't charge because they didn't have the original charger with it. So that was interesting. I'm going, oh yeah, that was like from the beginning like that. Supposedly that's not normal. So it's fixed. Hopefully, everything's working. So I'm happy. Then I got caught a cold on my youngest granddaughter's birthday. But 2 days after, I'm going, man, something ain't right in my system. What's going on? And sure enough, and it was a bad one. I got the cough. So, oh my gosh, it was just, ugh, it was just, ugh. And it takes me 3 weeks. I'm on my third week now. It takes me 3 weeks to get over it. That's, yep, done this enough times, a few times, so many times in all the years that I know that's how long it's going to take for my body to get rid of it without taking anything or this or that, except for my herbs, which I did. Uh, I had dried some purple dead nettle, which is amazing, an amazing medicinal spring herb, which most people just look at as a weed, though it has these beautiful flowers and comes up in all these bunches. And anyway, so I used the mullein, purple dead nettle, and then my hopefully intended son-in-law, my youngest daughter's boyfriend, gave us some tea for Christmas, and one of them was an herbal blend which had chamomile in it. Yes, so I used just a little of that. So the mixture of that, I drank that twice a day. Then I also realized that it looks like I'm getting a sinus infection as well. That's it, the whole course. And so I went on my avocado seed tea, and yeah, I suffered a little. Still took care of everyone, yes, except for the cooking. I didn't do the cooking. I thought, you're not going to cook while you're sick. That's going to infect the food and everything. Anyway, so there we are. But am definitely on the mend. Feel much better. It's summertime. All my grandchildren are here, and they actually spent the night last night. Plus, their friends come over as well. So it's great. It's busy all day long. Everybody's getting along, yeah, except for, the squabbles that they have. But it's kind of interesting to watch when kids have squabbles, right? Yes, and where they escalate to when you don't go. I think that's enough. Okay, tone it down. Take a few steps apart from each other. Anyway, so it's been great. It's been great. It's just been great. Yes. And that is that. Okay, so let's get back to it. Well, my goodness sakes, I haven't done this in how long? And it's like, missed it. I missed it, but it was all right. As I said, the cold kind of would have made it difficult. And so waiting for the tablet. Yes, yeah, well, patience. And maybe the break was needed. Yes, but one never knows. How heaven looks out for you in a way to make sure, okay, are you a little bit off with your heart to mindset, or too many things from the outside bogging you kind of down or influencing you? Let's give you a break. Yes. And to not have the tablet, no Facebook, no messaging, no this or that. Kind of, yeah, it was great. Actually, I really, really liked it. Yes. Okay, so let's get going. Oh, my garden. Oh, my garden is doing great. I'm eating already all kinds of things out of it. Or the family and I are. Wonderful. Just, wonderful. So we are in the Book of Wisdom 7. Solomon, a man like other men. Starts out good. I too am mortal like everyone else, a descendant of the first man formed from the earth. I was modeled in flesh inside a mother's womb, where for 10 months in blood I acquired substance, the result of virile seed and pleasure, sleep's companion. I too, when I was born, drew in the common air. I fell on the same ground that bears us all, and crying was the first sound I made, like everyone else. I was nurtured in swaddling clothes with every care. No king has known any other beginning of existence, for there is only one way into life and one way out of it. Okay. I don't know why that is in here. I have no idea. I guess he needed some okay. I think that when people. Alright. Just saying. I think that when one suddenly reminds others of, hey, I'm just like all of you guys, is often because, not because other people are saying, well, so you need to be a great example out there, right? Yes. It's more, what did Solomon know that he was actually where he was veering off big time when it came to all of that, right? Yes. That's Hank. And then to let the people know, hey, I'm not perfect either, so hey, give me a break. It's kind of to what, that's one way again to excuse one's own responsibilities, right? To remind people of, even though he wants to be exalted as a king, well, all this what I got, when I was born, this and that, that's a king's existence. Every king, will experience that. Well, if you're born into royalty, okay. Right? Yes, I'm just saying, so kind of interesting. Why would he put that out in there? Why is that in there? To make sure that, okay, hey, Solomon was just a man, too. Uh-huh. Really? Well, he was kind of a special man, wasn't he? To be able to have how many wives and concubines? Okay. Just saying, so again, what am I supposed to do with that? Solomon's respect for wisdom. And so I prayed, and understanding was given me. I entreated, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I esteemed her more than scepters and thrones. Compared with her, I held riches as nothing. Words, it's just word. It seems like all this stuff was, words were just words to Solomon. What about his actions? I reckoned no precious stone to be her equal, for compared with her all gold is a pinch of sand, and beside her silver ranks as mud. A lover I loved her more than health or beauty, preferred her to the light, since her radiance never sleeps. In her company all good things came to me, and at her hands incalculable wealth. All these delighted me, since wisdom brings them, though I did not then realize that she was their mother. What? What I learned diligently I shall pass on liberally. I shall not conceal how rich she is, for she is to human beings for she is to human beings an inexhaustible treasure, and those who acquire this win God's friendship, and commended to him by the gifts of instruction. Okay, there's one thing comes to mind here. Again, as I said, it would be better if these words of wisdom would not be associated with Solomon. It's not that they're bad. First of all, again, I don't know why wisdom is referred to as her, a woman, a mother. I don't get that. Okay, but it would be better if it was not associated to Solomon, because I read too much already about Solomon here in the past. Okay, and no, I'm going, man, dude, you're just all talk, blah, 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 you know. But when it comes to actions, it's not there. Yeah. So, but one thing came to mind, especially for she is to human beings an inexhaustible treasure. Those who acquire this win God's friendship, commended to him by the gifts of instruction. I don't know if one has to win God's friendship. I think that that's available freely to anyone. And I think more understanding of God's will and ideal is what, if you got some wisdom, you get there and you start to understand better. I had a conversation with someone about the riots in LA that are going on about, immigrants and the ICE and all that stuff. And I just, before that, I happened to watch, it was a 9-hour live video. And I watched and I watched and then I forwarded it and I watched and I watched because the live feed was over. And I watched and I watched and I went on, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting, what is this now again? Why are they letting this go on? Why are their cars being burned in neighborhoods? Okay, it looked like industrial neighborhoods, looked like abandoned neighborhoods in LA. Obviously, they were not cars of other people. They were just cars that they had staged. Okay, just saying. It's all this, and then supposedly the National Guard was there. Of course, if the governor of California isn't willing to blah, 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 then they can't blah, 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 do anything. It was the most ridiculous thing to watch again. I mean, okay. If we, us Americans, want to convey stupidity and idiocy to the rest of the world, that was one way to do it again. Just saying. Anywho, so someone brought it up. I didn't bring it up. I'm not going to even have anything to do with this. This is so ridiculous. And I didn't get it. Why are people, even in California, in LA, letting stuff like this happen? Are they okay with that? Well, if they're not okay with that, why didn't they go immediately in masses to the governor and said, stop this? And you can't stop this. We got the National Guard. Yep. And letting these cars burn like this, and then they're making a show of, and they were all completely burned out. So how long were they burning? What about all that smoke? Aren't all these people who are so for, okay, no borders, this now, let anybody in, okay, whatever, then most of these people are also very much on the greenhouse, this and that, gases and nature and who knows what. Right? But here are these fumes from these cars. It was horrendous. And where did they all go? And how many little children were affected by that? The smell must have been horrible. Aha. You know what? Sounds a lot like Solomon, doesn't it? But then when it comes to action, it's like, what are you doing? Anyway. Oh, both sides. I don't care who it is. That was ridiculous. I said, you want to look stupid and like an idiot to the rest of the world? Well, we done it again. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay, anyway. So someone brought it up. Just watched all that. And, was all on the, extreme right, just about. Listening to all these people on media, this and that, YouTube, all these people who have stuff to say on one side, right? Especially on one side. Right? And I said, stop. I am not going to listen to the far extreme right, nor the far extreme left. I'm going to look for somewhere in the middle to say, okay, what is actually going on? And what are the solutions? I said, anything that you just told me had nothing to do with solutions on how to, we have people who disagree. Then what do we do about that? How do I actually get the truth out there? Because the truth is not to be had in any of that anymore. I said, all you're doing is pointing the finger. Right? And not everyone that comes, I'm not going to go any farther into it. And it got to the point where, it's like, I can't talk to you about this. because there's no sense of your own heart to mind on what is going on out there, or the information. Your information is incomplete and given to you by people who want you to think a certain way. And yes, well, the person wasn't very happy about it, and kind of left. So be it. When for she is wisdom, to human beings an inexhaustible treasure, and those who acquire this win God's friendship. You're not going to win God's friendship with it, but you start to gain understanding on where you need to stand as a human being when it comes to all human beings out there. That's what starts to happen. And one isn't going to go for all this weirdo nonsense. Why are there all these cults out there for people to, especially young people, to step into? And literally, as soon as they go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. How does any of these cult leaders make sense out there? And then the sad thing is, the children are being preyed on in these cults and brainwashed from early on. So sad. And yet people fall for it by the millions. Yes? Okay, just saying. There was another thing I just heard. A good teacher, religious teacher, said, if you read religious texts, yeah, and all that, I said, you don't have to believe everything. What you need to do is you need to ask yourself, what is believable? Yes? Yeah. And then, if one really wants to know, either you leave it alone, say, well, I'm going to leave this to other people. I got other things to do, than go and argue over all these things. Or one digs deeper and actually gets the proper information. Yes? Yeah. That's in shorthand these days. Well, anyway, let's keep going. His appeal for divine inspiration. May God grant me to speak as he would wish, and conceive through thoughts worthy of the gifts I have received, since he is both guide to wisdom and director of sages. For we are in his hand, yes, ourselves and our sayings, and all intellectual and all practical knowledge. He it was who gave me sure knowledge of what exists, to understand the structure of the world in the action of the elements, the beginning, end, and middle of the times, the alternation of the solstices and the succession of the seasons, the cycles of the year and the position of the stars, the natures of animals and the instincts of wild beasts, the powers of spirits and human mental processes, the varieties of plants and the medical properties of roots. And now I understand everything, hidden or visible, for wisdom, the designer of all things, has instructed me. How? How would Solomon know about everything that there's no way? And go to war? And have all these women and children and no. Who knew all of this? All the people around him, his whole court. He had people who were what? Experts in all of this stuff. So what did he do? Exactly what I just warned people before I read this. Get your own information about things. Don't just believe others who may or may not have an agenda on how they want you to think. Yes? If Solomon knew all this. The other thing too, if he had all these people with all these expertise, right, and understanding and knowledge about one particular thing, stars, plants, medicine, blah, 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 okay. Then why has nobody told him, said, don't you think that having that many women is a problem? And most likely unhealthy and disrespectful towards nature? When it comes to what exactly? Are women just what? What to you? What were women to Solomon? Yet he says what here? Just saying. Yes? Okay. Anywho. So again. Eulogy of wisdom. Where did he get all his knowledge? Was it true? Did he get the right advice? Knowledge? Yes? He professes to be a genius in everything because God instructed him. Really? As far as I know, there is guidance that comes from spirit world when you have the right mindset about the principles of creation. Yet you have to put a lot of work into it. A lot of work, a lot of studying. Yes? Yeah. A lot of experimenting. Yeah, hopefully not on living things, but just by okay, this obviously how do experts out there in their fields become really, really knowledgeable? Huh? Why do you think all these medicines out there are there available for you? Somebody did start to study this and that. Oh, is it all good? No, but just saying. Yes, you know which pill to take for what ailment. But does that make you an expert now in all these diseases? No, it doesn't, does it? Okay, all right. That made my point. Eulogy of wisdom. For within her is a spirit, intelligent, holy, unique, manifold, subtle, mobile, incisive, unsullied, lucid, invulnerable, benevolent, shrewd, irresistible, beneficent, friendly to human beings, steadfast, dependable, unperturbed, almighty, all-surveying. Wow, they had all these words at that time. Penetrating, all-intelligent, pure, and most subtle spirits. Oh. For wisdom is quicker to move than any motion. She's so pure, she pervades and permeates all things. She's a breath of the power of God. Okay. Pure emanation of the glory of the Almighty, so nothing impure can find its way into her, for she is a reflection of the eternal light, untarnished mirror of God's active power, and image of his goodness. Although she's alone, she can do everything. Herself unchanging, she renews the world, and generation after generation passing into holy souls. She makes them into God's friends and prophets, for God loves only those who dwell with wisdom. What? I just want to say we're almost done here. Well, say something so I don't forget it. Says, although she's alone, she can do everything. Herself unchanging, she renews the world, and generation after generation passing into holy souls. Okay, she makes them into God's friends and prophets. Let me tell you something about that. What is that actually? That is when we are created in the image of God. So when a baby is created, right then and there, that is where the breath of God, you can call it, right, is already there. It's right there. Yes? Naturally within us. They call it, most people now have a subconscious. Their conscience is not even there. It's gone somewhere. I don't know where, but it's gone. But it's still there deep within. I mean, it is there. It is there. So wisdom, what is wisdom actually? Or why does he separate that? It's not separated. And that is why, how could God love only the people who, are smart and intelligent and kind of have some wisdom going or whatever? It's not possible for our Heavenly Parent to be that way. He wants them to be that way. But it's not like that. Our Heavenly Parent loves everyone. Everyone that has been, now, and in the future. Because in every human being, there's a part of God. The breath of God. Exactly what he's talking about here. And it's not related to wisdom per se. Wisdom is just a word that they're using now to do what again? Segregate things. Yes? Okay. Well, anyway, so there it is. But it is what it is. That's how, again, when you're not doing right in the world as a human being, you will want to take things that are supposed to be a part of you naturally out of you, set it aside, then explain it, give it a name, and categorize it, so that one then not had as you can accept that now or not. Yes? Once something is separated out, taken aside, oh, but it's really great, yet one does not want to take responsibility, actually. That's what Solomon is doing here with wisdom. Yes? So, does wisdom actually exist? Or is it just the origin of ourselves? In every person, there is the origin, which is who? Created in the image of God. Every last one of us. Every first one of us, every present one of us, every last one of us. You can't? And someone wants to take that away from some people? What? So that what? Some what? For what reason exactly? What's the reason for that? Again, so we get to do what? Point the finger. They are doing. Now see how that works? Okay. Let's read the rest of it because I got to go. She is indeed more splendid than the sun. She outshines all the constellations. Compared with light, she takes first place. Something unattainable, more or less. For light must yield to night, but against wisdom, evil cannot prevail. Strongly she reaches from one end of the world to the other, and she governs the whole world for its good. All right. That's the end of it, and I have to go. I can't talk anymore. Done talking. So the other great thing about having all my grandchildren here, and they're all a little older now, and this year I kind of can tell they're a little older. They do things a little differently. They've been cooking their own meals. It's great. Yeah. Yeah, kind of when they use the stove and the oven, I'm kind of there just to, but I kind of don't interfere. Let them do whatever. And they've been, it's been great. They've been making bacon and eggs. Yeah. They've been making mac and cheese. Yeah, well, But they have the good kind of, Annie's is kind of the good stuff. Though they eat the other stuff too. And then my grandson's really into making wraps with the tortillas. And what else? And then yesterday we had salami sandwiches. Kind of, cracker sandwiches. Smoothies. They've been making lots of smoothies, yes. So anyway, yes, it's been great. And I just kind of watch, because I've got the little one to watch mostly. That's what I do. And they have been having a great time. Then yesterday was my son-in-law's birthday, and the kids were all day they were involved in getting ready for a little party in the evening. Yes, it was amazing. It was amazing on how focused they were, this and that. And then my son-in-law was really, really pleased, he loves brownies, so instead of a cake, we made brownies. And we had so many candles on these brownies. And we were waiting, we wanted to surprise him, waiting for him to come in. And it took forever, and the candles just kind of burned down. By the time he came in and blew out the candles that were still burning, it looked like a brownie graveyard of candles or something. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. We had so much fun. Anyway, and then everybody made something for him. And, anyway, so. Okay, that's it. Just wonderful. I just watched the whole day. It's just with so much joy, on how they go, Gracie, where's this or that? I made sure they had everything they needed and encouraged them. Said, oh man, you guys are just, and they did it on their own. It wasn't, hey, let's do this or that. They did it all on their own. They came up with their own ideas. I didn't even say anything about, hey, let's do something for his birthday. They wanted to do it, and we're into it all day long. It's just great to watch. Yes, to let them do their thing. for someone else. Huh? Yes? Okay, I got to go. My dearest brother Eldridge, if you get to watch this, oh my gosh, but I'm finally back. Yes, I don't know if I need to catch up. I'm just kind of going from, okay, that's in the past and just starting new. Yes. And, and I've been thinking about you every day and the prayers. Let's keep praying. Yes. And I pray for you, with you, and I believe it's one of the most amazing things that we can do. Yes? Okay. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, and bless you with love, and I will talk to you all another time. I gotta remember how to turn this off. Oh.